Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 1 Episode 4 Cornered has finally been released on Disney+, and with it we were given a look at Fennec Shan's early days in the bounty hunting game and her hunt for a very important target. The episode was packed full of connections to the Star Wars films, books, comics and games, so let's break them all down. Before we get into it, make sure you're subscribed for more awesome Star Wars lore content. The action begins with Hunter suggesting that the crew land on the planet Ida Floor and go into hiding for their own safety from the Empire. Wrecker and Omega are upset by this because they want to experience some action, but the decision is quickly made for them as Tech reports that their ship, the Havoc Marauder, is running low on fuel. They will instead be forced to divert to the planet Pantora, leaving Omega in amazement. Ida Floor is an anagram of Florida, where Galaxy's Edge is located, and combined with some of the other Galaxy's Edge references in the episode, it could hint that we're going to be visiting Batuu later in the series, although most likely this is just a fun little joke from Dave Filoni and the writers. In addition to that, you will of course remember Pantora if you've seen the Clone Wars, which is home to the blue-skinned Pantoran people including Rio Chuchi. If you haven't seen the Clone Wars, you'll probably also know about the Pantorans without realizing, as George Lucas played the chairman of Pantora, Baron Notlewiski Papanoida in Revenge of the Sith, and his daughter played Chiikwe Papanoida, the senator who took over after Rio Chuchi. Following this, the crew land on Pantora and try to get their ship looked at by a shady local businessman, and they completely fumble their way through bribing him, not realizing that they actually have to give him credits in order to make the bribe work, showing that they don't really have that much experience being in the seedy underworld and being on the run. After this, the Bad Batch are given another taste of the criminal underworld when their repairman almost immediately turns around to sell them out to a very familiar face. Although they don't yet know it, the man who belongs to the Sullustan species quickly turns over their information to a bounty hunter named Fennec Shand, who you will of course remember was on the run with a large bounty on her head after she betrayed and arrested her former employers during the time of The Mandalorian. She was eventually shot down by Toro Calican and was thought dead by large parts of the criminal underworld until she was given a new lease on life, being saved by the man himself, Boba Fett. Boba gave her a brand new mechanical lower abdomen, leading Fennec to swear her services to Boba and team up with him. She eventually helped Boba and Din Djarin's crew to defeat Moff Gideon, allowing the safe rescue of Grogu by Luke Skywalker, before finally traveling back to Jabba's palace with Boba, where she sits behind him as he kills Bib Fortuna to take the throne. And we'll find out what happens after that in her story in the Book of Boba Fett, releasing this December. Interestingly, Fennec Shand has a hologram of Omega, suggesting that the Empire, or more likely, the Kaminoans, are after her. As they have already said, they need a new clone genome to replace the highly degraded Jango Fett one. On his desk you can also see a mini Saurusub 3000 luxury personal yacht, which is a very cool ship and was actually the model of the Lady Luck, piloted by Lando Calrissian, and the Fortune and Glory, piloted by Hondo Ohnaka during the Clone Wars. Definitely a nice little connection. As the crew arrive in town, Omega, Echo and Hunter are greeted by a crowd of cheering Pantorans, all celebrating the end of the Clone Wars and the restoration of peace and order to the galaxy, but are quickly scared off when they notice that the same hologram of Admiral Rampart telling the citizens to get their chain codes is playing, just like it was on Saleucami. They eventually reach a goods broker, where Hunter attempts to sell a piece of military equipment known as a Pyrodenton, which was first introduced in The Force Awakens and played a pivotal role in the success of the Resistance at Starkiller Base. These are the same devices that Chewie detonated during the death of Han Solo. Following this, the goods trader sees Echo in his full body disguise and believes he is a droid, making him offer quite a few credits to buy him. Echo is quite upset having to be sold off like a droid, but Hunter convinces him because they really need the money. While this transaction is happening, Omega's attention is caught by a nearby cart of Vorpak creatures, which first appeared in canon in Solo: A Star Wars Story, which was literally just their fur, and also featured in Star Wars Resistance. The Vorpaks actually also existed in Legends, being native to the planet Naboo. Padme's niece, Ryu, actually owned one, who was named Sanani, and she would often dress it up and go on adventures. Unfortunately, one of the creatures steals her clone trooper doll, causing Omega to rush off after it and get separated from Hunter and Echo, with Fennec firmly on her trail. The clone trooper doll is also a clear nod to both Geonosis' stormtrooper doll from Rogue One and Rey's rebel doll from The Force Awakens. Omega is then found by Fennec, and she acts like a friend in order to capture her and take her back to collect the bounty. Omega has absolutely no clue that anything is wrong until Hunter thankfully arrives and comes to save her, getting into a heated battle with the bounty hunter and eventually causing Hunter to lose Omega. You can really hear the pain in Hunter's voice as he reports the young girl's disappearance to the rest of the batch, which shows you just how good D. Bradley Baker can be. The rest of the crew then leap into action to rescue Omega, but Fennec is still giving chase. After this happens, Tech hacks into the city's surveillance systems and manages to see Omega enter the sewers, allowing Wrecker to finally rescue Omega, but this time he's going to fight Fennec Shand. That is until he is flung straight into a wall and he is knocked into a pretty bad shape, hitting his head yet again. Wrecker gets absolutely bodied by Fennec, really showing you just how tough of a bounty hunter she is. I'm really getting worried for that inhibitor chip after 2 bad hits, but luckily he had his helmet on this time. We'll just have to wait and see if Rekka's inhibitor chip starts malfunctioning. After Rekka is left in a very bad state on the ground by Fennec, Omega rushes up a nearby ladder trying to escape, and eventually comes out at the top of a massive tower, hanging high above the Pantoran skyline. She's then knocked over the ledge, and manages to hang on for dear life, but her grip is quickly slipping. Luckily, she is saved by Fennec Shand, who obviously still wants to capture her, but this time Omega is able to shake the bounty hunter off, and get back onto Hunter's speeder. Honestly, this whole scene really had the feel of the Attack of the Clones speeder chase scene, and I'm pretty sure that some of the sounds from the film were actually used in some parts of the chase here, so that's another awesome little connection. This then leads to a massive chase through the city between Fennec, Omega and Hunter, while Echo pulls together his own droid squad from the back of the dealer's shop before freeing them and taking them back to their ship to perform the repairs they need to get off Pantora. In the group is also an LE series droid named Clink, which was a model introduced in the Star Wars Resistance series, and honestly he's a really cool little droid, and given the amount of screen time the whole droid squad got this episode, I wouldn't be surprised if we get another cameo from them somewhere else in the series when Echo or the Bad Batch are in need. Throughout the chase we see just how ruthless Fennec Shand really is, as she throws a civilian off of his speeder, killing him instantly, and using it to continue the chase. She also has no problem shooting a Pantoran officer right through the chest, also killing him in order to stay on the hunt for Omega. None of this is really surprising, considering the reputation she had already gained by this point in time in the bounty world. Eventually, Fennec pays a visit to the Sullustan man from earlier, and he believes he's about to be killed off for failing to keep Omega and the Bad Batch on Pantora, but instead of putting a blaster bolt between his eyes, Fennec calmly pays the man for his work, and tells him to contact her if he ever hears anything from the Bad Batch or Omega again in the future. A surprisingly honorable act compared to the ruthless, cold-blooded killings she was committing earlier. And to end the episode off, Fennec walks out to her ship and contacts her mysterious boss through the comms device, warning the unknown figure on the other end that she was not successful in capturing Omega, but she will not be stopping. She will do anything in her power to track down Omega and the Bad Batch. This tells us straight away that she's going to be a recurring villain in the series, and she's going to pose a pretty big threat to Clone Force 99. I just can't wait to see how they connect it to the Book of Boba Fett and the Mando. This leaves us with one big question to close out the episode. Who is the dark and mysterious figure on the other end of the line? Is it Lama Su and the Kaminoans, who we know are trying to get Omega back? Or have the Empire finally figured out the truth behind Omega and now want her for their own cloning experiments? Could it also just be another ruthless bounty hunter higher up the chain? Whichever one it is, this marks a pretty dark mission, and one that will put Clone Force 99 and Omega especially in severe danger for the near future. I can't wait to see what's next. We're definitely going to be getting Boba Fett sometime soon, so I can't wait to see how it all ties together. And make sure you leave a comment down below telling me what your favourite part of the episode was, and what you want to see next week from the Bad Batch. We're pretty much done with most of the stuff from the trailers, except for Captain Rex, so hopefully that's coming up pretty soon. So that is my full breakdown of Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 1 Episode 4, Cornered. Thanks so much for watching, really hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers guys, hope to see you in the next one.